Hey there, I'm glad you could join me for PerkStream on this November 10th, 2021. Elijah had a choice to make, and so do we. Thanks for joining me again here at the table. I'm glad that you could make it. You know, there's so much I would love to know about the life of Elijah. I wonder if he was married or had kids. Scripture doesn't tell us, and maybe we presume he wasn't. I wonder if he was always a prophet, or was this just a seasonal job? We don't know that either, but we do know that for a time, for a season, he was God's spokesman. And Israel tolerated him, and the king hated him, and the queen despised him. And eventually, no matter what the highs and lows were, the low became so low, it just became too much for him. And so this great man of God that we have heard about, well, we get that word from James again, that Elijah was a human being just like us. And I use that as a reminder to say that we're talking about somebody who saw God's power at work, and still he had his moments of doubt. He had his moments of darkness. And we live in a time when things feel kind of dark, right? I feel like the pressure is on. The question I would have here is the same question that God asked Elijah on the mount. He got down to Mount Sinai, and he was there, and God comes to him and says, "What are you doing here?" And then God shows great power with an earthquake and with wind and with fire. And after all of that, God's still small voice comes to him and says, "What are you doing here?" And Elijah had his litany of things to explain why he was there. But at the end of the day, what we pick up from it is Elijah was in a very dark place, and he didn't think he could go on. Here's a question. Are you in a place like that? Or maybe you've been in a place like that. Or maybe you're concerned will get to a place like that. And the question I have for you is, do you hear the voice of God speaking, "What are you doing here? What are you doing in this place?" God's not asking that question to judge us. God's not asking the question to judge Elijah. He just wants to know, do we have a firm grip on reality? See, because there's life as we see it. There's life in our vision, and then there's a whole world going on beyond us. Whole circumstances that we don't see the beginning or end of. And this was also true for Elijah. In fact, Elijah had shrunk his life down to his problems and his circumstances, so much so that that's all he could see. And some of that is understandable. We don't see everything that God sees. God sees the beginning from the end. We don't. But God is asking us to get a bigger view of life and understand that if we're going to get that view, we have to follow this one command: don't stay here. Now, he's going to get three words, Elijah is. Elijah's going to get three words from God. Don't stay here. I have a job for you, and you are not alone. And we're going to unpack that first one and leave the next two for the next coming weeks. I get that in difficult days of tension, when we don't know what is real, it's hard to hear those words and think God even understands what's going on. But God knows what we're facing, and he knows the pressure of his servants. And his word to Elijah is his word to us. Don't stay here. I have work for you to do. Don't stay here. Go back. Go back and anoint 3 people for jobs that I have for them to do. Go back and do this work and finish it out. Stay strong. Finish strong. Don't stay here, because this is not the place I planned for you to end your work. I didn't want you to come to this mountain and stay here and end here. I still have things for you. Don't stay here. Go back. Don't stay here. Yeah, your feelings are real. They're legitimate. But they don't account for the whole reality. I am working, God says, beyond the picture of what you see. As far as the Lord was concerned, there was more to do and more to accomplish, and Elijah was his man to do it. But when we find ourselves reaching the lowest lows and sinking into the place where we don't think we can go on, we need to understand one thing. This is temporary. Whatever we are facing will not last. Elijah couldn't see that in the moment, but God showed him This is just a season and it's not the end. This darkness does not last forever. There will be light. You need to trust me on that one. And that's what I'm asking you to do, to trust the Lord and trust me when I say the darkness doesn't last. We go into a dark season, it doesn't last forever. There will be light and there will be purpose and there will be community and friendship. But we can't stay where we are. Don't stay here. Go back. Now you may be asking, what do we have to look forward to? What do I really have to look forward to? And part of that God will answer for Elijah and he will answer for us over the next 2 weeks. What I need you to do is decide this first thing. Am I willing to not stay here? Am I willing to say, I am going to look forward to more. I am going to look forward to light. I am going to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even if I'm not sure I'm on the right path. We're going to unpack those other words next week and the week after, but what I want to encourage us to understand is no season of darkness is permanent. And so for us, the word to Elijah is the word to us. Go back the way you came. Don't stay here. And next week, we'll talk about the job that God can be using us for to raise up the next generation. And then the week after, we'll find out that, you know what? We never really are alone. That God always has a group, a community that we can be attached to. So I hope that you are encouraged by this. God bless you this week. God bless you as you choose to not stay where you are, but move forward knowing that the Lord is with you. Take care.